tech email is listed. It's techconcierge1002@gmail.com. So any issues that you have relating to command issues or tech issues, we're going to ask that people begin using that email. That email will be monitored by myself as well as Dylan and also Robert. All right, so the first couple of things I want to talk to you, some of you may know, and some of you may not.
The mayor. The mayor is the one who has
control of municipal.
Yes.
Can I have whoever's on that call? Can you mute yourself?
He controls the
So about me. So the road of titles. So technology, well, actually, let's start from the very beginning. We're going to start actually in reverse. The first job that I had that led me up to this, where I'm at now, first job I ever had was a teacher. Then from there, went to administrative assistant. And then in that, from there, I went to business development, enterprise excellence. So continued to utilize my teaching classroom instruction, and then went into business development. Business development is really about client relationships and building client relationships. From there, I did event coordination, also administrative assistant, marketing and sales manager, and then front desk concierge. I've continued to own my own event planning business and the lead designer for that, as well as now I will be moving into technology and concierge, which is the current role. For those of you that are not aware, I will be transitioning. Oh, thanks, Jasmine. Yeah, I took care of it. Thank you. So I will be transitioning into technology and marketing concierge. So I will not be front desk. Effective on Monday the 18th. I will be floating. So I'm going to share a little bit more about that, but I'm going to be, basically I'm going to be in all of the offices. So not just one office anymore. So I'm going to spend 3 days on Whalers, West Side. And then I will be 1 day a week in Central Kahului, and then 1 day a week in Kihei. So I get to see more of everyone now. So it's a good thing. All right. So overview. So today what we're going to do is accomplish a lot of things in this 1 hour time slot. So the first thing is we're going to talk about profile and marketing strategy check. And I'm going to walk you through how to do that. So again, this workshop is going to be very interactive. So if you have not already, please make sure that you can go in and log into your command. And then we're going to talk about Realtor marketing suggestions. Most of you remember that Michelle was going to email you this information. And so what I'm doing is just giving you suggestions. That does not replace the need to email Michelle and or your broker in regards to approving all of your marketing material. The only reason why I'm including this in my presentation is just to make sure that it lessens kind of the back and forth that you have with your brokers, just making sure that you have some basic information in it. And then we're going to talk about what is a digital asset. We're going to look at listings, buyer, and then a social media hook. So that is our agenda for today. So the first thing I want to do, like I said, is going to be very interactive. So the first question I want to ask you is, what do you want to get out of this workshop? And what I want you to do is I want you to type that in the chat box. And the reason why I want you to include that information in the chat box is the following. Number one, it's going to help guide additional support to you. So we may answer or address some of what you hope to accomplish today. And if we don't, I want to provide answers to you within a week about if you are expecting to get something out of today that you may not necessarily get. But I want to make sure that your question or what you hope to get out will be addressed. So that's the first thing. And then the second part of that is whatever you type in your chat box, it's also going to guide the tech team as it relates to future courses. So if you guys can take a few moments and type in the chat box what you hope to get out of this workshop, and that's going to help us move forward in our future training. So I'll give you a few minutes. If you can take the time, if you don't have any expectation, that's totally fine. But if you can put in the chat box, don't have any, expectations or desires, that would be great. It could be for anything. It could be in terms of the chat, it could be what you hope to get out of this class. It doesn't, it's not geographically located. So it does not mean Big Island, Maui, or anything. It just means, what do you want to accomplish? Great. So I've got a few of you that did. That's awesome. So if you can continue to add some more to that, that would help us or help me. So we're going to keep moving. So the next thing, profile and marketing check. Is your command profile settings complete? That's the first question. The second one is, what is your marketing strategy? So I'm going to exit out of here for just a minute, and I'm going to go into command. Give me a moment. I got a lot of stuff up. All right, so your profile. So if you're logged into your command, you have your icon in terms of your user profile. It'll have, if you've included an image, it'll have your image here and it'll have your name. If you can click on the profile button. And within that profile button, it'll have, if it has missing information, it'll show you. But the key thing is that you want to make sure that your profile is accurate. It has all of your information. Make sure your contact information is up to date. So that's the first thing. The second thing is also make sure that before you start working in designs, if you haven't already, make sure that your profile in My KW white pages is actually correct, because whatever you have in white pages, basically what you have in white pages affects what you're going to be able to see in your design, meaning that your email address, your YouTube, LinkedIn, all of those things are going to be coming from white pages. So make sure that you have that information up to date as well. So then let's go back.
Is this what white pages is showing? So whatever's in your profile, is that what white pages has?
Exactly. Yeah, because what I did is I tested it. Great question, Jasmine. And anyone that has a question, please jump in and unmute yourself. But it comes from white pages. So when you're first onboarding as a new agent, all of your new agent information is uploaded in WinMore. WinMore basically uploads all of that into white pages, and then you can go into white pages and edit that. So that's where it's pulling from. So great question. Anybody else have any follow-up questions about the profile and the distinction of where that information is coming from?
So where do you go for your white page editing?
Great question. So let me walk you through that really quick. Let's see if I can do this. And, okay, perfect. Okay, so you would log into My KW. And so you have this page right here, it's your landing page. And then towards the bottom, you see where it says quick links. Quick links, your My KW MC1002 intranet. So you, oops, that's not the one. So sorry. It is this one, white pages. So then within white pages, you can go to your profile. And hold on. That's not what I want to do. From this, sorry, I misspoke. So what you want to do is from your landing page, go to profile here. Sorry, I misspoke. So you want to go to profile under here. I'm at 65%. And so when you click on that, it will give you all of the information that you can update. And you can update this at any point in time and see where it has like your Facebook URL, your Twitter handle, blog, YouTube, Google+, LinkedIn. That's where you put all that information. You hit save, and then that It may take a little bit. I would say maybe it should be instantaneous, but most people know Keller Williams takes a little bit. So I would give it a 24-hour period just to make sure, double check it and make sure it has synced up to Command. And then if you have any issues, you can always email me and we can troubleshoot that. But that's
LaTasha, excuse me, I have a question. So if you update your white pages and you save it, it's going to automatically sync. You don't have to do anything else.
No,
It will sync with Command. Okay.
Exactly. But the only thing is sometimes, as in Keller Williams, there's a little lag in it. So I would say don't panic. Give it at least 24 hours and then double check it. If it still hasn't transferred over or migrated over, then, you know, send us a quick email and we'll let you know and we'll troubleshoot it. But after you hit save, there's nothing else that you need to do.
The one thing I noticed about the white pages, there's no place for your license number.
That is correct. And so that is something that you'll have to enter when we get into design. So you'll have to manually do that. I'm assuming that they're going to be upgrading this to where it's more of a seamless integration between the white pages and also Command, because that's, you know, what the vehicle or the tool that they want to use. So great questions. All right. So now let's go back. Get out of here. And let's go back to the PowerPoint because there's a couple other things that I want to tackle before we get going. All right. So what is a marketing strategy? So before we get going, the thing is, most of you, if not all of you, probably have a marketing strategy, but I just really wanted to make sure that if you don't have a sound marketing strategy, make sure that you take the time to do that. If you need guidance on that, you can, you know, schedule an appointment and work with me and I can help you, guide you in that process. But the couple of things you want to keep in mind for your marketing strategy is that you want to know who is your target audience. I know, you know, as a real estate agent, your target audience can be, or can appear that your target audience is somewhat broad, but it actually is not, in a sense that you want to make sure that you're targeting the right people, making sure that, you know, yes, they are interested in buying a house or selling. And so there is some things that you can do to narrow that target. So in an effort to make sure that your marketing plan and your strategy is very strategic and it's hitting the intended target that you want. Do you have a tagline, slogan? If that's something that you don't have, I can help you, you know, make sure that you have some sort of tagline or a slogan about, you know, who it is you are and what you represent. And then the other questions, two questions or one question is, do you have a brand and is it consistent? So whenever you're doing your marketing, hopefully as we go through the rest of the presentation, you'll start seeing some consistency that Command is trying to help you establish your digital platform. And so making sure that you're consistent is a big thing. And then the other thing, which is very important, is what story are you telling with your marketing strategy? All a marketing strategy is about telling the story. What is your story? What do you want to say? What do you want to communicate? And how are you doing that? You definitely want to be, there's two keys to that. It's simple and it's consistent. And that's how you continue to build your brand and your recognition. All right. So here's the Realtor marketing suggestions that I talked about or mentioned earlier. So all of your marketing material must be approved by your broker prior to publishing. Following is a quick reference of essential contact information to include. Again, this is just a guide. It's a reference. This is not set in stone. This is just something that Michelle will confirm and send out at a later date. But as you begin to work in the Command, as you begin to continue to work on your marketing, you want to make sure that you have the legal name of the brokerage or slash DBA. You want to make sure you have the legal license trade professional name, i.e. your name, and your status, whether that's RS, RB, and then your number. If you're a part of a team, you want to make sure that you have your team name if applicable, and then your phone number, email, work address, and website. And again, Michelle Del Rosario will put out specific guidelines coming soon, but as you begin to work more in command, you want to make sure that you have those things in there. So those are just some basic things. Are there any comments or questions about that? Okay, so digital asset, what is that? What is it? So it's the content that is stored digitally. The content includes photos, images, videos, and files that contain text, spreadsheets, or slides. So it's basically everything print, images, video, that is your digital asset. One of the things that Command is trying to do is provide you with a digital asset program, CRM, to house everything to make it easier for you to communicate with your clients. What's the purpose? The purpose is to add value to your brand by influencing buyer power and building the brand awareness. And an effective digital asset program can be invaluable. And so the one thing that I want to stress to you, and I want to continue to do that throughout this training and future trainings, is you have to understand how important, how valuable your marketing campaign or strategy, everything that you send out, you have to realize that it has value. And so you want to make sure that you put time on the back end to make sure that that brand is consistent, that it's simple, it's to the point, and it continues to build on the brand that you want to be associated or named for or recognized for. So there's a couple of things before we get going. For those PC, if you're using a PC or a Mac, there are some challenges. For Mac users, Apple users specifically, if ever you have any issues in designs, the first thing that I want you to do is check to see what browser you're in. If you're in Safari, as you all know, sometimes you need to go to Chrome or Firefox. So before, if you have some issues, the first thing to do if you're a Mac user is to double check and make sure, what are you using? Are you in Safari? If you're in Safari, try Chrome or Firefox, because I've noticed that sometimes there's glitches when I'm in Safari, and then I have to oh, I got to go out and get into Chrome or Firefox. So that's the first thing. So we're going to cover listings. Within listings, we're going to look at everything related to listings, which is listing presentation, for sale, just listed, price update, neighborhood snaps. And so let's take a look at that really quick. And I noticed a chat came in, so let me check that really quick. Yes, listing presentation is huge, that's for sure. So I'm going to get out of this and go back into Command. All right, so now we're in Command. So once you're in Command, you'll see I have access to the Market Center command. So you'll see all of the things that you have access to at your top header here. Your toolbar to the left is basically the brains of the operation. So you have your home page. Further down, you see the third one or fourth one. I'm not an agent, so you guys probably have 4 more or 5 more things underneath designs. But designs, is I like to refer to it as a little chalkboard with the chalk or the pen or pencil or whatever you want to refer to it. So if everyone can click on designs from there. So when you're first getting into designs, you may not necessarily have things saved. So this is just things that I have begun to work on for the Market Center. And so the first thing that I want to encourage you is to look up at the top. You see email, landing page, social, print, agent site, and video. So these are all of the things that you can do within existing designs. There are several thousand designs that you can choose from. The first thing that I want to encourage you in is you can go into various ones and you can create ones, but the one that I found that's most popular, that both Robert and I use all the time, which is print. So I'm going to ask you to click on print, and then at the very bottom you're going to see a plus sign. So then you want to hit your plus sign at the right. So then it's going to give you pretty much the same create designs. You want to make sure that print is selected. Then you want to go to next, and I'll give you a few minutes. And it'll take a few minutes for this to upload, depending on your internet speed. Some may be faster, some may be slower. So I'm just gonna wait, and if you're here, if you could just give me a little reaction, just to let me know that you're there. Can you send me a reaction? Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So from here, couple of things we want to look at. The first is the listing one. So listing, if you click on that, you have listing presentation, you have for sale, you have just listed, you have price update, you have neighborhood snaps, open house, just sold, local. So this is your digital assets in terms of what is available. So let's take a look at this one. Let's go to neighborhood snaps. So within neighborhood snaps, there's two that were actually a total of 6, but these two popped up in terms of the letters. Then you have door hangers, which is probably the other two, and the other two are standard postcards. And so let's take a look at postcards. So let's just do the first one. So you notice when I click or take my mouse and hover over one of them, it'll come up with this red icon to use. And so that's what we want to click on to edit this. So we want to click on that. So one of the things that I want to tell you is that this is super easy to use. It's going to take a little time getting used to the nuances of what it works, but it's essentially a drag and drop option, drag and drop. So the images, so let's say, for example, your images, if you wanted to add an image. So when you first click on this image, you are on the image icon. If you have any preloaded images, it'll come up. It already has these. And let's say, for example, we wanted to change this. All you have to do is you can link your Facebook pages, Instagram, your Google Drive, and your Dropbox, which we'll go back to if we have time. But basically, you can pull from those. You can look at company, app images, lifestyle at home. Let's just click on that. You can click any of these. So you can create, if you don't have stock images, you can get some from here. So let's say we just want to do this first one. So let's say we want to drag it. So all we want to do is click and drag. So let's go back again. Click on images, because I'm going to make sure you guys can give me a reaction that you did it. So then we went to add, and then from there we just said, well, let's go to company. So then company has all of these stock images. So just click and drag. So give me a reaction if you were able to do that.
I don't see where you got all those pictures.
Yeah.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, so let's go back to add, thanks. Then I went to company, and let's go back here. So from company, you had app images, lifestyle at home, lifestyle activities, and neighborhoods. I went to lifestyle at home. You see that, Ann?
Yep, got it.
Okay, so click on that. And these are the stock images. So it doesn't matter which one. I just want to make sure you can click on it and drag it. Okay. And then let me know if you did it. I know some of you have already done so. So let's say, we want to change this.
Oh, crap.
No worries. And full disclosure, there is no such thing as making a mistake or doing anything. Anytime you make a mistake and you just hit your undo button right up here. So see where it says KW red, file, and then the refresh. This is the refresh back, and this going forward. So you just hit that back button and it'll undo anything that you did. So no worries. So let's say you want to go in and click on the text. So you just click on the text. You'll see my cursor is highlighted here. You can click here and you can say, hey, hey, Jim. Or hey, whatever, or whatever salutation you want. And then if you wanted to change the color of this, you just click highlight it. And I'm encouraging you to also do that. Jim, what color do you want this to be? Jim, you there?
Green is fine.
You said green? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so then you click on green and that's it. If you wanted to change how this looks, it's in terms of fonts. Let's say he wanted to be fancy. You could do a script if you wanted. Sometimes scripts are hard to read, but you can change it however you want. You can change the size of the font here if you want to say really big. And once you see that, that just basically means that your box has exceeded. So here at the far left, or excuse me, the middle one, you see the arrow that highlighted here, the black arrow where my cursor is. Just elongate that, stretch it, and then you can have that there. So then if you wanted to do something where you wanted to change the title, you could change the title to anything. If you just wanted to say your market, you could click it. So essentially it's just a click and drag system. If you wanted to change a Google map or the listing, you could do that as well. You can go in and do anything essentially that you wanted to do. So let's go to text. Let's say that Jim that's working on this wanted to add a text. So then you click on text. It'll give you here. So all of this information, remember I said at the very beginning, all of your information comes from the white pages. So this is just my white pages because I'm not an agent. I don't have my Facebook and all of that stuff integrated, but it'll come up with all of these text boxes and you could use this however you want to. Essentially, it's just a drag and drop. So let's say I want to add another text over here. So I drag it and then again, just click on it and make the changes that I want to make. Let's say, for example, I wanted to add a logo. If I wanted to do, you know, more of a KW logo, or if I wanted to add my own logo, I can do that. And then you can always, so let me back up here. So when you go to logos, you can do company, what's in the company folders. There's a miscellaneous, there's a KWDBA, there's labs, and then KWA. And then there's library. You can also, once you start building your library for this template, it'll start auto-populating. But let's say, for example, you wanted to bring in your own logo. So you can go back to text, you can go to add, and this will take you to your PC. And I'm just gonna say new logo, because I know that's one. I think, did it say, let's see. So here's an old logo of something I did before. So it may take a few minutes to load. Or maybe not. Let's see here. So normally it does load a PDF, but it's having some issues. But in a perfect world, it does load. The one cool thing that I was gonna say is that you can extract PDFs or any type of file here, and you can open this up and you can edit it. So say, for example, in times past, you were not able to do, you don't have a program for a PDF writer, then you can create, you can take that PDF, input it into your command, and you can edit it from there. And so here, you can also pull in listings. I don't have listings here because I don't have my MLS attached. I'm not an agent, but we can also at a later point, if you want to walk through that, we can schedule an appointment. I can remote into your computer and walk you through how to attach your listings from MLS. So I'm going to stop talking for a minute. Do you have any questions or concerns right now?
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Do you want us just to email you to set up an appointment on how to do that?
Yeah, so if you could email to Tech Concierge, we'll set up an appointment. Yes.
I lost my whole picture and I don't know where I am now.
Okay, so are you in the
I'm not even, I'm out of the whole thing and I don't want to hold everybody up because you only have an hour, so.
Oh, no worries. So just take your time and go back into Command, even if you have to open up a new tab, and just let me know. And then if you want to schedule some more offline time, we can definitely do that. The one other thing that I wanted to show you within this, and we'll go through the rest of it, is, say for example, you were building something and you wanted to add like an email. So I love this feature because you can go in here and drag, and let's say you wanted to add an email address here. So then you can drag this, in the bottom left, right hand corner is what you want to use to minimize this. So you can just minimize this to the size that you want, place it wherever you want, and then you can add a text. And it has title, subtitle, body text, and you can just drag your body text here, and it's white. Oh, I think there's someone that just sent me a chat.
I'm just asking for the written Tech Concierge.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I'll put it up again too. I'll put it up.
Thanks.
So then you can enter your text here. And now it's not working for me, so sometimes it does that. All right, let's go back to.
So I'll give you a call back and get that number for you. Okay.
Hold on.
It's probably ringing my phone right now.
All right, so let's go back to. Yes, I don't want to save. So now from listings, let's look at what's for buyers. So again, you have your neighborhood snap, you have your Keller Mortgage. Let's take a look at Keller Mortgage. So then there's two files in there. There's a home loan letter, and then there's a home made simple. So again, it's just about clicking on that. From here, you see at the bottom right here, these are your pages. So you have your pages 1 and pages 2. That means that it has 2 pages, and you can edit these however you want. Let's say, for example, actually a better example is this one, because this one has more. Because I want to illustrate this. So listing, let's do listing presentations from listings for a quick minute. And there's a reason why I want to come to this, to show you the pages. So it'll take a few moments to load. So here, this is the template. It'll show you all of the pages here. And so what's going to happen is once you start using this, you'll drag, let's say, for example, you want to have this title page for sure. So what you want to do is just drag, add this. And so then you can change the template again, or excuse me, you can change the text however you want. But one of the things that I wanted to show you at the bottom here where it says pages, see how it's loading up the pages? And so let's say, for example, you didn't want to have this page, but excuse me, the second one, but you wanted to have this one. And then let's say you wanted to have this one, so you would add those and see how it's adding at the bottom. You can also drag the order too. So that's one of that I wanted to stress in terms of if you wanted to flip the order, you could change it however you want to do it. The one thing that I also want to stress is whenever you're in designs, go to file, you'll see it should be already clicked in terms of use auto save. So it's always going to save the information. However, you always want to make sure that you save information in case your computer crashes. So here it'll say untitled. So we're just going to call this gems file. So then we're saving that. And so it's going to continue to auto save. And then once you go back, you go out of designs, you'll see that file with that name and you can always rename it. So I wanted to stress that you can, once you start loading into more templates that have multiple pages, you can always at the drop of, just essentially click and drag, you can reorder them however you want to reorder them. So let's go back. So we talked about listings. We looked at the buyer presentation. Or Keller Mortgage is what we originally looked at. And so again, for the buyer presentation, in terms of the number of pages you have, all of this can be edited. So there isn't anything that you cannot edit. So anytime you see any logos, any images, text, coloring, everything can be created to match whatever your branding, whatever your style is. Again, you can go in and add logos, either miscellaneous logos or upload your own logos. You can log into your MLS, connect your MLS and do your listings. Images, you can either do images that you already have or stock images, and then text. And then one of the things, let's pull up. One of the things that I wanted to also let you know is there's tons of icons here. So and the icons can be edited as well. So once you get into this, you can look at all of these different icons. You'll see like different names, even though it says baby on board, you can change it. Jasmine may not want to change hers, but yeah, there's tons of things that can be edited for different colors. If there's a text that you see or a design, don't worry about it. As long as the basic image, the frame of it is there, you can manipulate it however you want to. So it's really a great tool to have. And so really it's just about playing with this and seeing what you can do. Pretty much you can do a lot of things. So then you have lead generation, business basics, different files in here. It'll take a minute because I clicked on this too much. So you have business cards, you have letterheads, leadership, and then they're always going to have, there's always tons of new designs. You'll be able to take a look at these new designs, but let's go back. So if you ever wanted to look at your designs, you can click on, it may take a little bit to load if there's, these are ones that we were working on. But let's say, for example, this is one I did, or one I'm going to do. So this is actually a post that's actually that I am going to load onto Facebook or put onto Facebook later today. And it just is a gratitude one. So I found this, I just put in some basic stuff, and what it is just want to get it out to the agent so we can put a post on Facebook. So you can, you can move this however you want. If you don't like the way that looks, you can go, you can move it up here. You can take your gratitude down here. Pretty much it's just a drag and drop. I added, my image there. And then these are things that, you know, that makes me grateful. All of this. So what was stocked was the rainbow, which you can change at any point in time. This, what fills me with gratitude. All of these were stocked, but I can change them. I could change the color of the backdrop if I wanted to by just clicking on anything, open space within the background, and then just set or click on the background current color. And then I can choose any color that I want, hit apply, and it'll change. If I wanted to change this, I could. So there's multiple things that you can do. And then let's say, oh, I want to go back to what I did previously. Then you can just hit your backspace until you get back to where you were. And then if you want to save this again to make sure you don't, you know, you save what you had, you can just do that. So I'm going to stop talking for a quick moment, go back to my PowerPoint, but are there any questions so far? This is just a good introduction to what you can do, and we can dial in terms of your specific needs, but are there any questions or concerns right now before we go back?
Yes. Sorry, I got lost with the, where did you find like your post? How did you go back from, how did you get into that post area?
Yes. Great question. Okay, so let's go back here. And it'll take a few minutes. So originally I was in templates, and that's where we saw all of the listings. And so right next to templates, it's my designs. So I clicked on my designs, and it took a little bit to load just because of the internet speed. And then once everything loads, you'll be able to see everything that you worked on. And so from there, then you can just click on it, double click, excuse me, and it'll open up. Any other questions? There's a chat that just came through. Let me see.
Did you record this?
Yes, it is recorded. So someone asked how to connect to MLS. I will get there, but it's easy to get there, and I will show you how to do that, hopefully. And if not, I can help you offline. All right, so let's go back to okay, so we showed a little bit about what listings and all of the titles or subtitles that you can do. We looked into the buyer presentation in terms of neighborhood, SNAP, Keller Mortgage, and buyer presentation. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about, which is social media hooks. And so social media hooks are, as all of you know, is just a soft marketing technique. And so one of the things that I wanted to encourage you as you begin to build your digital asset program, one of the things I wanted to encourage you to do is come up with something that is a hook. And what I mean by a hook is something that will bring people into your social media feed, into, you know, whatever channels that you're using for advertising. And so you can, so I want to share with you one example that I do. And I do Aloha Friday fundies, and so I'm going to show you that. And then part of this is a feature of the week. What I would encourage you to do, it's totally up to you, but what I found that works best is when you tap into your interest or hobby to build an online reputation, credibility, and relationships. And so oftentimes the best way to do that is to focus on what you're interested in. If you want to stick with just real estate only tips, you can definitely do that. But one of the things that I found is when you tap into your interests, your hobbies, people begin to get a glimpse into your personality, and then you start getting more credibility, not just about credibility of your skill, your job set, but credibility as a human, as a person. And so people want to see that. They want to be able to make connections with, you know, whatever product and or service you are selling. People want to make a personal connection. They just want to know that they can trust you. And so that's why I would encourage you to have some sort of feature of the week, tap into your interests. So I'm going to show you one of the things that I do. You can deviate from that however you want. And then I'm going to go back to command. So let me get out of here. And hopefully, I don't know if I still have it up, but let's see here. Can you all see my screen, folks?
Yes.
Okay. So this is my Instagram account. And so my, I do Aloha Friday funnies. And so it's just a way where it's a soft marketing thing. And so my recent one was aisle dreams. So I look forward to the day I can walk down the aisle and hear, we have water ready for you. Swipe for my dream aisle. My current situation is nightmare on Foot Street, for real. So, did it show up?
My name is LaTasha Baldwin.
Too far. So that's my aisle dream. So I have done this every Friday, and I get so much interaction and people. All of Skip Princess is actually one of my former clients. Doug Olson is one of my former clients. And so it's just a way to where I show kind of my personality, different stuff that I encounter with, that I have that's funny or striking. So I use Friday, my interpretation of Aloha Friday, and I call it Aloha Friday Fun. You can do however you want, but just something that is just a soft marketing tool. It still has my branding. It still has kind of my brand, my theme, all of that. And it's just a humorous way to connect with people. So let's go back to command. So again, with command, this is actually one of the Facebook posts, and I can go back when we can show, let's see, hold on, someone had a comment. Okay, same. Go back to templates. So when you get to templates, you can see where it says my app and it says Instagram. They have Facebook, but we'll just look at Instagram for now. So these are posts that are already in the square recommended size for Instagram, where you can click on something, and let's say we want to use this one as our Instagram post. So we can go here and we can, use this one if we want, and then edit it however we want. So let's go back.
Can you show again really quick how you got there?
Yeah, absolutely. So I went back to templates. So you want me to go back one more step, or?
Got that, I'm there.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so from templates, I just looked at KW app. And so my app has 149 files in it. And so from here, it lists out all the subcategories. You can look it up by jumbo cards, Instagram, flyers, large postcards, standard postcards. So I clicked on Instagram. And then from Instagram, it'll show you all of the current ones that they have that are appropriately sized for Instagram posts. And then just click on any one of them that you like.
Mine doesn't show Instagram.
It doesn't?
No.
Okay.
Does anybody else's?
Does everyone else show Instagram or no?
I don't have Instagram either. I thought it's because I didn't put it somewhere in my white page, maybe.
Okay, so let's back up. Hold on.
Gray, you guys know that it's the gray right there? It's not red until you click it.
Right. I have jumbo postcards, flyers, large postcards, standard postcards. I do not have Instagram.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, maybe
Yeah,
it's
me
'cause
too.
that
Okay.
might be. Yeah.
All right, let me look into that. Thank you for letting me know that.
You're
I'm
welcome.
writing this down.
Thank you.
And I don't either. I'm wondering, is it because we don't have Instagram accounts?
No, I think there may be something, it might be something as easy as a setting, but let me look into this because I don't even have my Instagram feed on my bio. So there's got to be something that's simple that we can figure out. It could be something that's as easy as click as a button, but let me look into it because everyone should have access to that. So let me see.
Thank you.
I'm sure it's something simple. We just have to look into it, but I will look into it. But thanks so much for pointing that out to me.
Yeah, thanks.
Let's do, I want to go, let's exit out of here. So one, let's see. Let's see. There's something that I wanted to look into really quick. Give me just a quick moment. Okay. So let's look under, so some of you had asked about MLS. So let's go back to your home screen. So how I got out of there is if you were in the very back, there was an X at the top left to get back to here, or you can always click on the red KW to get back to your home screen. And let me get back to my home screen so if you can let me know once you get back to your home screen, and if you could give me a reaction just to let me know you're with me. Awesome. Okay. All right. So from your home screen, your drop down menu in terms of your profile, you have your profile, which I showed you earlier, that's linked to your white pages, i.e. Winmore, the back end system. So let's go into settings. So with settings, here's where you begin to integrate all of your apps. So if you haven't done so, you can connect to a Gmail if you have a Gmail account. DocuSign, I believe, is free for all of you. You can connect to your free account. Your social media postings, you can connect. The reason why I don't connect is because I have to separate my business stuff from KW, so I don't have anything connected. The one thing that I will say about Facebook though, when you go and connect to your Facebook, you have to make sure that you have a business page because it's not gonna link without a business page. So if you don't have a business page, send us an email, which I'll put the email up again at the end, and send us an email and we can walk you through how to set up a business page. But you will not be, unfortunately, you will not be able to connect your personal first Facebook page. You have to have a business. Twitter, you can definitely do that. Your Google, your Edge, Twilio, in terms of if you want to send text messages out, Pi. And so those are the ways that you can send that. And I want to say it's in Command. Settings, market profile. I think it's there. So it should be in Command, applications. That's not it. So give me, for those people for MLS, give me about 5 minutes after, and then I will send you the file path to do the MLS because it should be in Command, your settings in terms of connecting your MLS. But I will send a file path for that because I know a lot of you wanted that. So let me work on that after the meeting, and then I'll send that to you via email. Any comments or questions so far? I'm going to jump back into the PowerPoint. All right, so essentially, this is the new tech email. So if you want to set up an appointment with either myself, Robert, or basically any of the team will be able to assist you. Just send an email and we'll coordinate a time. The time will be via Zoom. So what we'll do is we'll send you a link to a Zoom account. And then what we'll do is we'll have you log into Zoom. And then from there, we'll remote into your computer and we'll walk you through whatever you need, us to further guide you in. These are the physical office hours, which I talked about. So for this week, I'm still available. I will be working from 8:30 to 4:30, or essentially 4 with our Mission Possible at 4 p.m. daily. But my office hours are going to include physical and remote consultation. It'll be under the Technology and Marketing Concierge. So again, this week, I'm still full-time, so I'll be available. Starting next week, I'll be available 8 to noon, and then anything after that, Robert or Dylan will respond. But Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, for those of you that are on the West Side, I'll be in the West Side office from 8 a.m. to noon. I'll still be able to be accessed, any agent, whether you're off island, on island, doesn't matter. I'll still be able to assist you, but I'll just be physically in that office. Tuesday, I'll be in the central office. So those of you that are on the central side, I'll be there from 8 to noon. Once we can do physical meetings, we'll be able to do that. But again, we can always do remote, and Big Island, Kauai agents, we can always do remote. So don't worry. These are just the times that I'm physically in those offices. And then Thursday will be in the South office, 8 a.m. to noon. And then again, after hours, weekends, the emails that you send will be answered by either Dylan and or Robert. So any questions, follow-up so far? I know there's several things that I need to follow up on. I'm going to look into the chat box. So I'll send the MLS Connect process. I'll get that out to you today. The email was already sent, and it will be in the update for Get Ready for Tuesday. That email will be in there. Carol Ann, I know I'm working with you already on your listing presentations. Let's see. Keep learning in order to set up. Let's see. Clarify how to navigate the design site email. Terry, let me know if you need any follow-up on that, but we'll do more classes to dive in specifically on each aspect of design. Better understanding of how to use command, utilize the benefits of design, and then a monthly touch base. So yes, so for the monthly touch base, we can definitely have classes basically around all of the additional stuff, and we can focus on new things as well. So the chat will be saved, and we'll go forward in terms of designing all of our future classes around those specific things to make sure that we addressed all of your issues. And then give me a week and I will give you additional tips for those as well as you wait for the classes. Any comments or questions?
Shoot.
We need more.
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same thing. Are you gonna do like a weekly tech class for us?
I actually am. So this is the first of many. So my plan is to tag
It's 11 o'clock.
Robert, and I'm actually going to start doing more classes. Once I kind of get in the groove of my new role, my plan is to have at least 2 or 3 classes a month, if not more.
Great.
Awesome.
And then I'll be available individually as well to help you with specific issues. And yes, it is recorded, and I'll send out the recording. But any other comments, questions?
You are excellent.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, LaTasha.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, this has been great.
Awesome. So I will send you the recording. I may be able to get it today, but if not, definitely by tomorrow. And then I'll work on all of your questions to try to get you a detailed email of all those within the week. But today, my priority is to get that MLS instructions to you all.
Thank you very much.
And then also I'll follow up on Instagram, figure out why those are my 2 hot items. So.
And MLS.
And MLS. All righty. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you. And
Teacher
please
before. Good job.
keep us posted.
Thank you. Bye,
Absolutely.
everybody.
Thanks,
Bye.
Natasha.
Hey,
You're
everybody.
welcome.
Will you keep us posted when the next class is also?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you, LaTasha.
You're
Have a
welcome.
good day.
You too.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Nice job.
Thanks.
Oh.